All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen and Miss Casey Jackson. I hope everybody is doing well today. Hope everybody had an awesome weekend. And ready to dive in. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So, let's get to it, man. We're going to take a quick look at fundamentals. Then we'll dive through the dollar pairs to see where the dollar is across the board in preparation for the news coming out today. And then if we have any time remaining, we'll take some pairs that you guys got your eyes on for the week. All right. So let's hop over to trading economics really quickly. All right. So drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay and if you can see my screen. Beautiful. All right. So U.S. inflation. The annual inflation rate in the U.S. is expected to ease for a second straight month from 8.5% in July to 8.1% in August, the lowest reading in 6 months, prompted by a fall in petrol cost. Gasoline prices likely increased 26% year on year, slowing sharply from the 44% rise in July. On the other hand, housing prices are set to increase further compared to July. The CPI is seen falling 0.01% for the first decline since May 2020. Still, the core index likely rose 0.03% on the month and 6.1% on the year, surpassing a 5.9% in July. All right, so you got your CPI data and you got your core CPI data, right? And it's expected that core CPI data has risen. So we'll keep our eyes on that data when it comes out and see how it impacts the market. But that's the big data, the big move, the big inflationary note that everybody has their eyes on as the Fed is preparing for their meeting later on in the month to discuss continued interest rate increases. Okay. So we'll be prepared for that. UK unemployment rate lowest in 48 years. Jobless rate in the UK fell at 3.6% in the 3 months to July, the lowest since 1974, from 3.8 in the previous period, and compared to the market forecast of 3.8%, as the number of people who are no longer looking for work increased. Meanwhile, wages adjusted for inflation continue to fall over the previous year. So this number is always interesting because the way that they look at, and this is just across the, I believe it's across the board, the way that they look at this unemployment number is if you've been out of work for, I believe it's 12 months, you no longer count towards this number, right? There's a range in which they start removing people from that number and no longer looking for work. So that number is always increasing, always interesting to take a look at when it comes out and see how it impacts the market because of how they start to look at some of that data and some of the ranges that they have on it. So just a random side note. Oil prices extend gains for the fourth day. WTI futures extended gains for the fourth session, advanced to $89 per barrel on Tuesday as the dollar index continued to lose ground ahead of the U.S. inflation data that could ease the pressure on the Fed to raise rates aggressively if prices moderate. Also, data showed that emergency oil reserves in the United States fell to its lowest level since October 1984, as the government set a plan in March to release 1 million barrels per day over 6 months to tackle high fuel prices. Meanwhile, investors await OPEC's monthly report on its near-term market outlook due to the release, due for release later on Tuesday. On the demand side, top crude importer China. China's antivirus restrictions and deepening energy crisis in Europe that heightened recessionary risks in the region weigh on sentiment. All right. So you still got that back and forth happening. Oil is pushing back to the upside, at least temporarily, and we'll see how things go from there. All right. Over to Forex Factory, just a quick weekly outlook. Said today, we got CPI data, right, that we're waiting on, come out at 8:30. Then we have CPI data for the pound coming out tomorrow morning. So this could also impact the pound pairs. Okay. If that CPI data comes in above this expectation, right? Last month, right? In one of the conferences, they discussed the pound potentially getting up to 22% at some point. So we'll continue to watch this to see if this number continues to creep above 10 and push deeper into those double digits. We have producer price index for the United States coming out to 8:30 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we have GDP for the New Zealand, and then we have employment and unemployment rate for the Australian dollar tomorrow night, right? So over the weekend, we talk about this being a heavy news week, heavy for the dollar, but we got some other important data coming out for some other countries as well on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we got core retail sales and the manufacturing index, right? So another big day on Thursday for the dollar. And then on Friday, we have preliminary consumer sentiment, right? So we got some movement that could be happening throughout the week this week. All right. So we'll keep our eyes peeled and stay ready. Okay. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing this morning, man?
Matt, I'm doing great. Glad to be here as always. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Glad to see you, bro.
Absolutely.
You got anything that you've seen from a fundamental perspective over the past couple of days?
No, I think everybody just waiting on CPI data, man.
Yeah.
That's you always see this, especially when it's for the US and things like that. Everybody's just waiting because this is gonna really they're looking at this is gonna really tell the tale to see if inflation is peaking. That'll kind of give us the pathway for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I agree. All right, cool deal. Well, let's hop over to some charts, take a look at the dollar index and see where we fall. So we talked about over the weekend, the dollar retracing. We'll come back to that dollar CAD. The dollar retracing, right? We said if we bounce back above this weekly level, right, we'll see a push. But if we stay below, we'll look for that deeper retracement to happen, right? And it's on the 4-hour time frame here. Okay. 618 on the 4-hour comes in line with this daily support level. And we got a monthly support level here. Okay. So we're in this retracement phase, right? Up retracement zone, and it's still trickling to the downside. So that's where we are. Right? So if we bounce back to the daily time frame and look at it from a broader view, right? We already got a 618 retracement there. That daily support, right, comes back in at this previous resistance level that we broke through. We could just be coming back to retest it if we get that low, right? We also had a previous swing high here, right, that we're sitting at currently. Okay. So this level, we'll see if we continue to break lower below that level, right? It's a previous resistance. We'll see if it serves as support, but it looks like we're already trying to break through it. Okay. So just a quick note there. So that's the dollar looking at those retracements. So what that means is on our dollar crosses, right? And the dollar pair. So the dollar pairs, we'll see the dollar, those pairs moving to the downside, right, in favor of the counter currency, right? And the dollar crosses where the dollar is the counter currency. We'll see those pressing to the upside. Okay. So let's pound through some of these and see where they are. Okay. So back to this dollar CAD. Let's bounce back to the daily, right? And we're looking at this one. We said, hey, we got a retracement happening. We broke our trend line and we're moving down. Okay. So get this together. There we go. Right. Overall, that's the look on the dollar, right? We got a 618 retracement, pushed up, couldn't break out to the upside, and now we're coming back down potentially to the support level before we potentially see any reversals happen there. Okay, so this is the daily look on the dollar CAD, right? So we drop to the 4, we'll come to the C, right? The deepest point in between the AB boundary, and then we'll look at our Fibonacci sequence to the upside from there. Okay, so as we drop down, we'll take these out, drop to the 4. We'll run our fibs off this low here, like so, right? And that's that push to the downside there. Okay, take the cloud out for a second, but you see we broke through the cloud, right? You see a lagging span broke through, and we're continuing to press down. Okay, so pressing down, that daily level comes in line at this. I had a different fib run on this before, it looks like, but the daily level comes in line at the A boundary. Okay, comes in line at the A boundary. So we'll see what happens when we get here. Still got quite a ways to go to the downside, right? Another 67 pips or so. Okay, but that's what I'm looking for price to get down to this level, be it today, end of the week, what have you, before we see potential retracements occur there. So seeing as we broke through that trend line, we'll take that out. Okay, and now we're tracking this thing to the downside. Okay, I want to go with this one here. Okay. There we go. All right, so that's our downtrend line that we're tracking price in this up retracement zone, right? And see what happens once we get to this daily support level. Okay. Ms. Cassandra, what's up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Question for you. I was looking over my charts this weekend, and I noticed this may have been something you guys have already spoken about. On the daily time frame, it does not give you a Friday. It goes from Thursday to Sunday. And so I was curious, is it in my settings, or is that just
so to remember how this works? So the market closes at 5. So this candle opens Thursday at 5 o'clock and closes Friday at 5 o'clock. Right. So for us it's Thursday. For us it's Friday, but this candle actually opened Thursday afternoon.
Okay, Thursday at 5 closing. Okay.
5 p.m. Eastern time, right? And closed Friday at 5
p.m.
Correct, right? So this is your daily candle for then, and it's weird, but like the Sunday candle is Sunday to Monday, right? This Monday candle is Monday to Tuesday.
Okay.
Just because the time frame is off, is different, right? And when the market opens and closes, so that's the difference in what you see there. But this is technically your Friday, your candle that you would have been looking at on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, does that make sense? I hope it does. I know it's weird, but
it's weird because then you go in and you give the at your Eastern time frame, but I guess that's just the way the platform.
Well, it's how the market cycle kind of works, right?
Okay.
Because the end of the day and the beginning of the day is in the middle of the day for us here,
Gotcha. I got it. Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
right.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Cool beans.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So moving down there, right? Moving down on the 4. So drop to the 1. And that's the move to the downside on the 1. Okay. The nice double top action, and then we got the push. So sitting at a 786 retracement on the 1 hour, similar deal as the 4, right? Sorry for the bounce back and forth. Similar deal as the 4, right? Waiting for that daily support level, right at that 8 boundary. Okay. So be patient on these dollar pairs, as we talked about over the weekend. Allow these things to set up for us and come into the zones that we like and give us the additional confirmations necessary for those reversals. Okay. So just sit tight and be patient and allow these things to move how they're going to move. Okay. Questions on the dollar CAD? No? All right. Dollar Swissy will bounce back out to the daily time frame. Take a gander. So off the daily on this dollar Swiss. Good morning, everybody that just joined us. All right, so here on the dollar Swiss on the daily time frame, again, right, we got that 618 retracement off of that push there. Got a beautiful ride to the upside, and now we're just in that retracement phase. Coming into this weekly support level, served as support multiple times before we broke back through here. So now we want to see, does price hold here or does it press deeper? Okay. But coming into that level right now as we speak, does it drop to the 4? So take this off. And we're going to run that fib again from the C. I'm going to run that fib on the 4 hour from the C. Take a look at where we stand. Does it get to, yeah, it got taken out, right? So now we're running to the downside here. Okay. So this is our active AB boundary here on the 4 hour time frame, right? AB boundary, we got a shallow retracement. And like we talked about, right? Price is pressing down into this 118 and 127 zone, right? So we'll see if this weekly level holds or if we press deeper into this zone here. Okay. And then we'll see if we get those confirmations for price to turn over and press back to the upside. Okay. But pressing down just as we anticipated. Now we just wait patiently to see if we get those confirmations at this level for the reversal. Okay. So that's on the 4. And as we drop down to the 1, we'll see a similar look. Okay. Similar look. Bang. Now here on the 4, here on the 1, we're right in that 118, 127 zone. Okay. So we want to, again, be patient and wait for our confirmations here, right? If you wait for trend line breaks, right? Drop your trend line on. Right. Run it here. Okay. Wait for price to break your trend line, right? And give you a swing low and push to the upside, right? If you use the cloud as your confirmation, drop your cloud on, right? And see we're still quite a ways away. Okay. And this is on the 1, right? So allow for your confirmations to be met before we take those entries on this trade. Okay. We still could see more press to the downside if we close below this level. Right. So as we drop down to the 15 on this with the cloud, we'll see where we sit. We've been hovering right at it. Right. Hovering right at the cloud. And got another press down. We've stayed below the whole time. Right. Stayed below the whole time. So continue to be patient here. Continue to be patient here and allow for price to swing and give us those confirmations, right? But keep your eyes on this one. So we could see a reversal sooner on this one than on some of those other pairs, okay? So we shall see, all right? Any questions on the dollar CAD? Dollar Swiss?
Nope.
All right, cool deal. I'll take that back to the $1 yen. Still hovering. Still hovering. All right. Let's come back to the daily time frame. Daily time frame on this dollar yen. We pressed up to get to that D extension. Okay. Now we talked about this new AB boundary, which is here. And we want to see, do we break below this 236 and press down to this weekly support level at the 382, right? Or do we stall there and press up to this monthly resistance at 147? Okay, so we're sitting at a 236 retracement right now, and we're just pressing sideways, waiting on that data. Okay, so we could see this give us another press to the downside to get to that 382. All right, so just be patient. If you're not in that already, allow it to do what it's going to do. All right, so let's drop down to the 4. All right, zoom out. This is our AB boundary on the 4. Okay. I left the cloud on. We're coming into the cloud on the 4-hour here, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Bang, we got a reversal. Okay. Now we want to see again, do we come back down to this weekly and daily support? Okay. And then we'll see what happens here if we get a deeper push or if we stall there and get that reversal. Okay. But pressing to the downside here nonetheless. Okay. Moving through to the 1. Let's see. Run that fib off of the low here. So, all right. And this is where we stand on the 1, right? We already got a just shy of a 50% retracement. And now we got the sideways push, could continue to turn over and press down to give us that deeper retracement here on the 1-hour time frame. Okay. If we get down to these levels, 86 retracement, then we'll look for price to turn over. Okay. So that's the dollar yen, still moving to the downside. Questions? No? All right.
Hey, Ryan.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, can you run that fib from the top?
From the top? Yeah. Right here. In line with that previous resistance level.
Yeah.
That's good eye there. Good eye, bro. Appreciate that. Right. So on the sub fib here, we got a 50% retracement, just shy at 618. Right. The matching D extension is here at 141, 144. Right, which is just shy of a 618 retracement and just shy of this previous lower time frame resistance. Right. Price pushed up here. So this could serve as a support force as we get to that sub fib D extension. Good eye, bro. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. No worries, man. I once I see it creep below the cloud like that, and I'm looking for a retracement, like let me just deploy the fibs in the direction I think it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Given where it's sitting below the cloud and the lagging span has already come through, could you go on and get in? Well, this isn't one of our sweet spots per se, but could you take this to the D?
You
could, if you wanted to.
Yeah, and this is one that I just, playing that 80-20 zone has been short in it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it hit that 80-20 area anyway, so it's already with a small position, right?
Right.
Kind of like you always talk about dripping the positions in. So once I saw it at that level, right now, I decided to get short on it anyway. But now it's just waiting on that. It's below the cloud. And I think it's just waiting on that data to come out, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked about over the weekend how we got the lagging span break here with this push down, but we're getting this retracement here. And also looking for price to break back. The lagging span to break back through price. So it's a little low in the zone. And if for whatever reason it turns over, right? But if you were to do something like that, right, I'd play it with a tighter stop. Yeah, I'd play it with a tighter stop just to ensure, because you got a lot of room to roam. If for whatever reason it turned back over and pressed back to the upside. So yeah, yeah. My advice would be just to wait on it and allow it to do its thing and get down to these lower levels and then look for the reversal to the upside. That'd be my preference, just so that we can be in a better risk to reward scenario, and allow price to get into those sweet spots. But if that's something that's in your rules, as far as it's sitting in a space like this after retracement and pressing down, trade your rules, right? My preference, like I said, would be to wait.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions on this, UJ? No. All right. While we're on the side, let's take a look at this New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar. We'll bounce back to the daily. That. Take the cloud off for a second. All right, so we'll run our fib from the top to the bottom here. Bang. Okay, we already got a 382. Price pressed just below that B boundary and then turned over. Now we're getting a retracement, right? We'll see if this previous weekly support level holds. We also got a daily level here. Okay. So we'll see how this retracement continues. Now, if the dollar continues to retrace as it is, right, this matches up with those weekly and daily levels on the DXY, right? So pressing back up into some key levels that we'll want to watch and pay attention to, okay? What we'll do, though, is this level's already broken. We'll take that out. We'll shift this up, and this will be our daily resistance level there. Just making some tweaks to my support and resistance zones. Go back to the weekly. Let's see. Yeah. Flip-flop those. Weekly level there. Weekly resistance, daily resistance. Okay. So let's go back to the daily here. Okay, so there we go. And then we got this daily support right here. Okay, so there we go. Let's clean that up just a little bit. But so we got a daily resistance level here. Okay, so as price is pressing back to the upside, we'll see how it responds in the zone. If we break this level for whatever reason, right, we could be looking at this weekly level to be our next zone for potential reversal. Okay, so we'll continue to watch just to see how it goes and see how the market responds here in the zone. We got previous support also here, right, and we got resistance. So we'll watch it once price gets to that level. Okay, so as we drop down through the time frames, zoom all the way back out. There we go. See here on the 4 hour, we got a 382, right? And we're just bouncing off that support, right? So again, giving us that confluence that we'll see what happens once we get back to this daily level of resistance, right? You can see that zone a little more clearly here as we zoom out. And even as we look to the left, right? Additional confirmation that this zone could be a pretty strong one that we could potentially see a reversal at, okay? As we drop to the one, I want to look at we know where we are from a higher time frame fib, right? Coming back to a resistance after at least a 382 on the daily and the 4 hour. So with price running to the upside, right, we'll deploy the fib from the bottom to the top. All right, and we see here, we got a 618 retracement, right, on this candle. Matching the extension is here at 62,262, which is in line with this daily resistance zone. Okay, so we'll look for price to continue pressing to the upside. Okay, continue pressing to the upside to get to this higher level before we get any sort of retracement action. Make sense? Any questions on this New Zealand dollar?
Makes sense to me.
Cool deal. Cool deal. All right. That's New Zealand dollar. Take a look at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar. Daily time frame. All right. So here on the daily, right? We said we're looking for price to press back up into the zone. Okay. So that's what we'll continue to wait on. Price is pressing as that dollar retraces. Okay. Still overall bearish on the Aussie dollar, but just waiting on a high price to then get that reversal in the opposite direction. Okay. So as we drop down through the time frames, we see on the 4, right, we're starting to press into our zone, right? Starting to press into our zone. So we want to continue to wait on this, right? Because we could get back to this daily resistance level, right? We could get back to this level. So we want to be patient and allow it just continue to press as far as it needs to. Okay. Continue to press as far as it needs to. All right. But it's on the move to the upside. So if you played this 80-20 scenario, right? Shallow retracement 118, 127. Bang. If you played this, beautiful. Continue to manage your trade, right? Move your stops in the profit and what have you as we press deeper into the zone, right? Just ensure that you're protecting the profit that you already have. Okay. So this is the kind of one of the best looks on this, right? The daily level comes along with the day boundary, but I like this fib setup here on the 4 hour to track the trade from. Okay. But as we drop down to the lower time frames, we do have a similar look on the 1. Okay. And we see here, this is that trend line break. And we also had the cloud break there with the lagging span. And then we just took off to the upside. Okay. Beautiful move. And now we're just running. So again, be patient, allow price to get into the deeper zones before we look for our retracement. Okay. Questions on this Aussie dollar? Nope. Cool deal. Euro dollar, similar story. Okay, similar story. We thought we could potentially get price to hold here and give us this reversal off of this reaction here, but we got to gap up, right? We got to gap up and price is pressing to the upside now. Okay, so could be headed to this next daily level. Okay, right at that 382. My bad. This needs to come up anyway. At the 382 in this daily zone here. Okay, so that's what we could see as our next level. All right, so as we drop down through the time frames, 4 hour, give us the same story. Okay, 4 hour gives us the same story. 382 in the zone, the daily resistance. That's where we could be headed. Okay, so next level 103 is what we're watching. So as we get down to the 1, right, D extension is here, and we could see price continue to press to get there, right? We zoom out, we see, we took out the fibs coming down, and now we're pressing out. Okay, so still looking for those higher levels there as the dollar continues to retrace. Okay, questions on the euro dollar? All right, these are looking very, very similar to as we looked at them over the weekend. Still making their moves. Okay. Pound dollar. So this one I want to watch closely for a couple of reasons, right? We got CPI data today for the dollar, but then tomorrow morning at 2, I think it's 2 a.m. we got CPI data on the pound. Yeah, 2 a.m. right? So I want to watch this closely. And see as we get to these levels. This daily level is a previous daily support here at your B boundary. Okay, we're pressing into that now. We got another daily level here at 118, right? So as we're pressing to the upside and we're watching that retracement come through, okay, today's data could continue to push to the upside, right? And then tomorrow's data, we'll see how the market responds at this trend line and this resistance level, okay? To see if it presses into the resistance and then gives us a retracement, or if we get a break of that and potential continue higher, okay? But we've already got a 50% retracement on this, right? Overall, bias is still to the downside, right? This is the daily D extension here at 111, okay? So we're just looking for another high price to then be able to get short, okay? So as we move through the time frames, get to the 4, this is where that comes in, right? This is that B boundary level, okay? And then these are your next 2 daily resistance levels. Could be headed here at least at 382, and potentially long term, if we break that trend line, we could head to that 618 level in this next daily resistance. But we want to see how the market responds at these 2 daily levels. Okay, if we run our trend lines, just like we did on the daily. Oops. Draw them out. Like so. Okay, that's the trend line there. All right. So we'll see how the market responds once we get to these higher levels. Okay. But this will be interesting to see how that CPI data comes out tomorrow and what that kind of dual impact will look like from today and then tomorrow if we get an extra push to the upside to get into this zone here. Okay, so watch this closely. If you're in this move to the upside again, right, continue to manage your trade, knowing that you got some early news coming tomorrow that could also impact this in one direction or another. Okay, so that's the 4 hour. Take that down. And as we get to the 1, this is our look here, right? So we got a fib running from the bottom here, right? We're pressing to the upside, right? That's the direction that we're looking for the market to move. And this 1 hour D extension comes in line with this previous B boundary, right? So that's that first level of resistance. And then we got the second level here. Okay. So this is that move that we're watching get to that D extension. Okay. We'll see how it responds there, but we could get a breakthrough and continue to press higher. Right. So again, patience on these dollar pairs. Wait for your confirmations before we look to get short. Okay. Questions.
Hey, Ryan.
What's up, bro?
Hey, so with this data that's coming out today, we just have to continue to keep in mind that, you know, nothing's really going to change, in my opinion, fundamentally, right? So we'll see motion. So say the CPI comes out and it's showing that inflation is peaking, right? We may start to see a rally. You may get a rally in the stock market, right? Because the emotions will be, oh, you know, maybe the Fed won't be as aggressive. But the bottom line is, even though inflation is peaking, okay, great job, Fed, right, getting to this point, but they're still far away from that 2 to 3% target range for inflation. So
Facts.
while, you know what I mean? So while we may see, you know, that rally, those emotions, right, being played into the market, the fact still remains that we're not within target range at 2 to 3% inflation. So I don't have any reason to think that the Fed is going to back off their hawkish stance, none whatsoever, based on this latest CPI data.
Agreed.
So, you know, so some of this rallying that we're seeing, I think, ultimately pushes price into that position to overall get short eventually, right, on those pairs like the pound dollar, euro dollar. So I think it's still the same situation, just temporarily in the short term. It may create a rally if we see that inflation is peaking based on CPI. So it'll be interesting to see how those reports come out today.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you 100%. Right. He was very clear that that they plan to continue to stay aggressive until they get within that 2 to 3% range consistently, I believe is the term that he chose. So we got a while to go. We got a while to go. Any other questions on these dollar pairs? No, cool deal. Take a second. If you guys have any pairs that you have your eyes on, that you're watching, drop those into the chat and we can take a look at them real quick. We got about 20 minutes left in the session. Aussie yen. Yeah, these yen crosses are also interesting as we watch them. So Aussie yen, right? We got a 382, pressing to this 118, 127 zone. We're starting to get strong push here into this weekly resistance level, right? And we're starting to stall out a little bit, right? A little bit of a back and forth. So it's a matter of, do we continue to press higher, right, and break through this level, or do we actually get that reversal? Okay. So as we drop to the 4, we see this active AB boundary here, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, right? And we're getting the sideways push now. So we could be in for that reversal, right? If this weekly level holds, right, we pressed out of it, we're coming back to retest it. If this level holds, one second, everybody. All right, if this weekly level holds, right, we could be in for that reversal and that press to the downside, right? So we got an 80-20 scenario there on the 4. So keep that in mind as we bounce down through the time frames and get to the 1, right? On the 1 hour, this push up came just shy. Nope, it did, right? This push up got us to the D extension. Okay, so we got a new AB boundary on the 1, right? Additional confirmation, right? When we get these new AB boundaries, Benny tells us the bat signal, bang, right? So we got a shallow retracement here, and we're coming back to retest this level. So literally the question is, does this weekly level continue to hold as resistance, or do we press higher and get into this 118, 127 zone? Okay. So that's the question that and what we want to continue to watch, right? So you got a little distance between the cloud is starting to push sideways, right? You got your T-Kits and your Kijits also pushing sideways, and then you got your lagging span starting to press through price as well, right? All confirmation of consolidation happening, and now it's just a question of, do we get price to turn over and press down? Okay, so that's on the 1 hour, right? So if you trade the cloud off your 1 hour, you want to wait and be patient there. Okay, wait on those confirmations. If you run your trend line from the low, right? Whoops. Run your trend line from the low. We'll draw this one manually. Like so. Okay. That's where we're sitting from a trend line perspective. Okay. That's where we're sitting from a trend line perspective. If you had a tighter trend line drawn, it would have come through the highest point. Actually would have been like that. That's our highest point there, right? So you got your trend line break. Now you're getting a pullback. Okay. Now you're getting a pullback. So that's the scenario. So if we drop down to the 15, look at it from a cloud perspective, right? You see we're still just pushing sideways through the cloud. Still pushing sideways through the cloud. Okay. So wait on all your confirmations to happen, right? And get a break back below with your lagging span back through price, right? And then we can look for that entry opportunity to the downside, which could be a pretty decent move. Okay, could be a pretty decent move if we start to break these levels on the way down. Okay, so that's the Aussie yen. Jerry, what are your thoughts here?
Good morning, Ryan
Good
and Benny.
morning.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was looking at. Looking at to see if it's gonna do that 80-20 play, get up there to do the 80-20 play. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm eyeing right now.
Perfect. We're in line. I love it. You're on top of it, man.
Thank
You're
you.
on top of it. Great interview the other day too. Appreciate you.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
absolutely, man. Awesome job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
If you guys didn't get a chance to check out the interview Casey did with Jerry, definitely check it out. Right, he gave some very, very good insight. It's good to learn the journey too. Right, we all come from different walks of life, and it gives good perspective. So we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Cool. Any questions on the ASEAN? Nope. All right. Cool deal. Let me bounce to this Euro CAD. Euro CAD. All right. We've been watching. Excuse me. And we've been talking, right? We're pressing back to the upside, right? We got our shallow retracement. 382 is quite a bit away. Where price currently is, we're looking at another 260 pips to the upside, but price is on the move, right? Price is on the move to the upside. Okay. As we continue to drop down, get to the 4. In review of that 80-20 look, excuse me, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, and we're pressing. Now, as price continues to press to the upside here, this daily level we've struggled at. All right, so keep that in mind. We've struggled at this daily level. So we'll watch it to ensure that, A, do we get a break of it and press to the upside, or do we stay in this range a little while longer? Okay, so keep your eyes on that daily level to see how the market responds once it gets there. Okay, keep our eyes peeled. So I'm gonna back up 1 minute, right? Come back to the weekly time frame, right? All this started because of this 80-20 on the weekly. Okay, and you see we got the swing low formation, right? Confirmation of support, and we're pressing to the upside here. Okay, so this is where all of that started. And then we got the newbie boundary on the daily time frame, right? And we got the press sideways, and now we're pressing up to the 80-20 on the 4, right? Additional confirmation on all 3 of your higher time frame levels that we could be in for a decent move to the upside. Okay. So we're pressing. So we want to watch this daily level and see how the market responds there. Once we, at whatever time we get a breakthrough of that level, we could then, start to break through additional levels as we move our way to the upside. Okay. But we're on the go nonetheless. All right. If you run your sub fib off of the low here on the 4, right, you see you got a 786 retrace or 86 retracement here, right? On that retracement that we were watching, matching the extension is here at the second daily level, which will call for a break of this previous level here. Okay. So that's the matching the extension on this move to the upside on the sub fib. So next level to watch, and then we'll see how the market goes from there. Okay. Down to the 1, we zoom in on that low, on that lower move, right? That sub fib move. This is it here. Okay. This is that sub fib move, 86 retracement, 118 extension level. Okay. So it's going to call for a break of the trend line, push to the upside. You see on this move down, right? We got this beautiful break. Lagging span broke through. We had your TK crossover down here, broke through the cloud, and now I want to move to the upside. Okay. So as we get to these higher levels, like I said, watch it as we break through that daily level to see if we get some sort of retracement before we get a continuation there. Okay. That could occur. Could occur. Okay. But pressing to the upside nonetheless. Pressing to the upside nonetheless. We'll continue to move in waves, but we're on the go. We're on the go. This is only 15 on that pullback. We broke back through, and now we've broken back to the upside, lagging span above, and we're pressing up. Okay. Joy, what you looking at here on this EuroCAD?
I'm on the move to the upside. I got two positions. I did a buy stop and I did a buy limit order. But I'm trying to open up but I'm looking to go to the I'm running it off the daily. I'm sorry. I'm all tongue tied.
No,
I'm
you're
running off
fine.
the daily. And I'm looking for it to go up to, there's a weekly resistance on the daily fib at the 618. So that's what I'm eyeing.
So look, watch this. I think, oh no, that's up here, set 8-6 level. That's that weekly 382. So I follow you here in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I follow you. I follow you for sure. Beautiful. Great work.
Yep.
Great work.
Yep. So I basically played that zone. It was a level in between there, but I got it off I got a buy limit on the monthly, and then I did a buy stop. Probably about 10 pips from where the
Off the monthly?
no,
Joy,
I'm trying to get my interest. I'm sorry.
you okay?
One position is at 130554.
30554. Let's come down. 30554.
That was my buy stop, and my buy limit was at 130360.
303. So
60.
that's the Joy is on it. 30360. Great work. Great work. All right. Beautiful opportunity, right? Off of that deep retracement. Now we're on the move. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Cool deal. Cool deal. So on the move, right? On the move. And for folks that might do break and retest, right? Once you break this daily zone, right? Get your push up. Look for a pullback and a retest of it. Right? Push up. Pull back, retest. Maybe. There we go. Retest. And then continuation to the upside. Okay. So that's the EuroCAD. Great work, Joy. Great work, great work. Any other questions here on this EuroCAD? All right, cool deal.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying no.
Oh, okay. Sweet. All right. Take a look at this Euro Yen, and then we will call it a morning. All right. So Euro Yen from the top. Look, let's check it out. So pressed up. This is the D extension. Okay, I'm gonna clean this out so we can see the exact number. 145,644. This candle came just shy of the D extension, 625, right? So that's why this is still highlighted. Okay, so this is still our active AB boundary, right? So we could get one more press up to actually officially hit that level. Okay, so just be aware that that could occur. Okay, but the extension, in all intents and purposes, we're there, right? But we haven't quite hit it just yet. But high levels, and we're starting to get some reaction and some consolidation in that zone. Okay, so as we drop down through the time frames to get to the 4, zoom out here, right? And even here you see we just missed that level. So here on the 4, it's our active AB boundary. We got shallow retracement, push right into that 118, 127 zone as we anticipated, and then we got to press down, and now we're moving sideways. Okay, so what I would say here is continue to be patient on this, right? Because again, we could get one more push back to the upside, right, to get us back to that level. Okay, so be patient, and don't be surprised if we get that push up. Okay, but 80-20 scenario nonetheless. If it pushes back up, it'll give us a double top, and if it forms that swing high, that's our confirmation of the resistance. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at here, but ultimately looking to see if we get price to turnover. Now we understand that the euro has started to pick up just a little bit, pick up just a little bit. And then on the other side, we have the conversations that are happening out of the Bank of Japan for potential intervention at some point, right? That at some point has not been stated yet. So in theory, we could still see currencies run against the yen. So just be aware of that, right? Just be aware of that scenario. If we do get another press to the upside, that and all the yens do the same thing, that could be the trigger, right? So just keep that in the back of your mind, even with that Aussie yen. Okay. Yeah, just be aware of that opportunity or potential as we move through the coming days. Okay. As we drop down to the 1, that was that push to the upside, just shy. Got your 1 hour D extension at 146.082. Okay. So similar look, right? We're still above the cloud here on the 1. And if you trade this off the 1, just continue to be patient, right? As long as we stay above the cloud and we don't have our confirmations, we'll allow it to do what it's going to do. Okay. So be patient there. We're pressing sideways. You see you got your Seco span B moving sideways, right? Seco span A got a little movement following price, right? And then your lagging span is pressing through price currently. Okay. So just be patient. Be patient. Got kind of a double bottom scenario here at this weekly support, pushed up, pulling back. So that kind of gives me more insight that we could potentially see one more push back to the upside. All right. So be patient on that one, but looking for the short opportunity at some point, just when that some point comes. Okay. So we get to the 15, you see that press sideways. See that press sideways. Okay. So waiting for the high price, waiting for confirmation that price is turning over. You guys follow me there?
Yep.
Cool deal. Any questions on this euro yen? All right. Cool deal. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning?
No, sir.
No. Benny, got anything before I close it out, bro?
Oh, no, as always, man, great session. Continue to be patient. Let's see what the CPI data has for us. And then we'll take it from there.
My man, cool deal. Benny will be back with us tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session. He said, be patient. Data comes out at 8:30. And we'll see what we get after the emotions settle down. All right. Have an awesome Tuesday, everybody. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Okay.